Now, I'm still getting over how cool it was to finally see Galactus in the MCU, and I really wanted a figure of this guy, but the HasLab one goes for like $600 on eBay, and the other ones don't look very good, so I guess I'm out of luck. Oh, wait. That's the beauty of having a 3D printer, is even if you can't model, if someone else has thought of it, you're in luck. So I found this Galactus model on Colts 3D by Wicked. He's made a bunch of other cool sculptures too, so I would go check him out. And I'll put this specific model in the description. And this model is a freaking steal, by the way, because this is only $20 at the time of recording this. It's bounced back and forth a little bit, but at the time of recording this, only $20, so definitely go get it. Now, I do wish I had upscaled it, because as I'm sure you know, Galactus is huge. I mean, he can be big enough to eat an entire planet, which is actually why I'm not too mad, since he can change sizes. But this entire statue is only about 2.5 feet, which is even smaller than the HasLab one. So my printer could have handled it. I probably should have upscaled it, but honestly, this took long enough to print on its own. I'm not really worried about it. So got all the files downloaded, threw it in the slicer, sliced it, and then threw it to my printer. Now, like I said, the printing process was fairly long here. It took about 2 weeks to get just the entire body printed. And at the time of recording this, I haven't even started the base, so that could take another couple days if it needs to. This also actually didn't use as much film as I expected. You know, once I'm done with the body, this is about 5 or 6 rolls, which really isn't that bad for what you're getting. So enjoy some time lapses of this very long and tedious process. Now, by this point, I had the entire body done, and I was just waiting for the base to finish printing. So while we waited for those to finish, I glued some of the smaller parts together, which looking back, I really wish I didn't. But it did help reduce the piece count, which was kind of nice, such as making the arms a single piece and the head a single piece. But yeah, I then proceeded to paint the entire thing by hand, which I kind of wish I didn't again. I don't know, this entire thing was kind of a pretty long learning process here. Now, I do prefer the slightly darker purple and the navy blue compared to the common bright pink and bright blue. So I got these metallic blue and metallic purple paints and just painted it to this reference photos I had from Resin Forge and from the comics. But once the base was done, I also eventually decided what color it was going to be, and I just decided to go with like some gray with some like silver highlights to make it almost look like it's like an old piece of rock. Kind of like what Thanos had in the early MCU movies, but you'll end up seeing me do that later. So enjoy some more videos of the painting process, because I cannot sit still, so there's no time lapses. Now that almost all of it was done, I spray painted the entire base gray and then just glued it together. And once I was done drying, I added some black and silver highlights just to make it pop a little bit more. And once I was happy with this, I went to the last part of the painting process, which was his face. Now for the mouth, I had my sister give me some good skin tone paint, and I kind of threw it on there. And for eyes, I originally did some blue paint, but I kind of went over it with some silver paint, and I really like the way that looked instead. Alright guys, home stretch. Just a few more steps here. Real quick, I just want to say, if you're enjoying these kinds of 3D printing videos, I'm more than happy to make these because I do tons of 3D printing projects. So just make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. Alright, now that we got that plug in, let's finish this guy. I ended up gluing everything together, which took forever, by the way, because my glue takes like 24 hours to set, but it's super strong, so it's kind of worth it. But a lot of these pieces, they need to be propped up. They couldn't just glue on, so I couldn't glue the whole thing. But once that was all set, I was already loving the way it looked. So once it was done drying, I took it outside and hit it with a good amount of semi-gloss clear coat, just to make sure the paint doesn't chip and it gives it a more shiny look. Since his armor is supposed to be metal, it should be fairly shiny. After that dried, I took it inside and finally looked at my finished product. So with that, I hair rolled Galactus. Now, is this guy articulated? No, but I think until I win the lottery or something to get that HasLab one, I think this is a pretty good thing to deal with. It's also nice knowing that, I made this. This isn't some corporate company made figure, so my hard work I put in. So no matter what, this guy will probably always hold a special heart in my place. Now, I have a plan where I'm going to put this guy because he's kind of just on the floor right now, and you guys will have to see that in a couple months. Anyways, it's gonna be all for this video. Really appreciate if you stayed to the end, and like I said, I'll absolutely do more of these videos. Matter of fact, I might be working on one right now. Still haven't decided, but it probably will end up being a video. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.